All right, 4-color skies. This is a deck that I think it was Marty Punker had donated for at one point as kind of a meme. Have to disagree with the March statement. Oftentimes, mid-range decks will gum up the board a lot, which slightly bigger as the March allows us to take a turn off and double up the sides of the board, and kind of I make less than ideal blocks with their dude. Sure, but a bunch of 1/1s don't win most of those games, Endo. And like at the end of the day, there's a reason why tokens isn't being successful, right? So like, I feel like if it was just as simple as add March, you'll beat these mid-range decks, I think they would be being successful. And I think, like, unless you found something broken that other people haven't found, I think it's unfair to say that, like, this issue is something that people haven't tried. Because, like, putting March into these tokens decks isn't exactly innovative, right? So I feel like all the deck lists that I've seen people trying have March in it. Every time I've played it, it's felt really clunky and awkward for the reasons I just said. Which is, when I'm behind, it doesn't help me catch up, and it's only kind of okay in situations where I'm already winning. So, the theory doesn't really line up with what you're doing. I think green-white colors need cards like Guttural Response and Lapse is certain to give these decks more playing. No, I think combo decks that are difficult to interact with just don't belong in Standard. I don't think the answer is break the color wheel and, like, give other colors counterspells. I think it's just decks like Nexus of Fate just shouldn't exist in Standard. I think that kind of nonsense BS is things that you should only have to put up with in formats like Modern and Legacy. I think if you want combo to exist in Standard, it should ideally be creature-based combo decks that you can interact with via removal, because removal fits into every part of the color pie. So anywho, this deck is a 4-color skies deck, which I think I had missaid something about combining 2 deck names and said the words 4-color skies, and then someone said, I believe it was Marty, was like, all right, I'm going to donate so you can build a 4-color skies deck. So this deck is basically an Esper deck with a Hydroid Krasis splash at the top end, and then a couple copies of Assassin's Trophy for some more flexible removal past the Mortify. So let's go ahead and jump on in and see how it goes. Yeah, I agree, Lilyvap. So, for instance, if Wilderness Reclamation was just on a 4 or 5 mana creature, it would be much more reasonable, far more interactable. Sure, Endo, and I understand that you're playing March and other people are playing March, and I'm trying to expound on the fact that there's probably a reason why the tokens deck isn't good, and in my experience, this is the reason why March and other cards in the tokens deck aren't good. So, like, you're saying, they all do this, and this is why they do this, and I'm saying, sure, I understand that, and this is why I think it's bad and why the deck's not good. I think there's infinite different things you could do to Wilderness Reclamation to make it less offensive and less obnoxious. Hard agree with that statement as well, Lost Lurgrave. The problem with Saheeli Cat combo wasn't the combo, it was energy. I think I would be very surprised if that's not the case. Also, this deck has perfect mana every time, because it's perfectly built. Poor Thief of Sanity's got to stay in the ugly corner, though. Stream Decker, yep. So now I have to decide here, what do I want to start running into counter spells? I think because I have a pile of Seraph for the scales here, I actually just want to jam this Thief into play. So like, this is going to get caught by a counter spell, looks like Essence Capture, and then eventually one of these things is going to stick, and these are just excellent blockers in this matchup. So if you're looking at this deck list and you're thinking, usually comments I hear when we play a deck like this are, wow, 4 colors, that's greedy. This deck is a fantastic example of your spells and mana base need to go hand in hand. So one of the reasons why this deck is a 4-color deck is functional is in large part due to the fact that look at the spells that we're playing. So while we are playing 4 different colors, our 4th color, in this case green, is a very small splash in cards that we only want to be casting exceedingly late into the game. So for example, we don't need green mana generally until turn 6+ for Hydroid Krasis a lot of the time. And if they block here and dive down, I get to give this Death Touch, so... Correct, yeah. Our white also isn't needed super early either. We have Mortify on 3, but like our first card that we're trying to curve into is Seraph of the Scales. Alright, I think I just double block, right? This gets blown out by double dive down, but I think I'm okay with that. And again, I'm double blocking because if I single block, dive down can save their thing. Sure, you're gonna deny me tokens. I'm gonna play a 3rd Seraph and you can cry silently about it. Yeah, that's true too. Dive down, calling double dive down a blowout is kind of a stretch. I agree with that assessment. Seraph might be one of the best cards in our deck in this matchup, so drawing a bunch of them is really, really helpful. Correct. That is another thing that goes into making this 4-color mana base very functional, which is that if you look at the spells we're playing, there's notably no double-colored spells in our deck, which is a big deal. Goes a long way towards making the mana very functional. Would you like to trade for my Seraph of the Scales? You would. Alright, I think I actually just take this hit. And I'm going to Mortify this next turn. That's true. There are Lyras in the sideboard, but Lyra is an incredibly powerful card that you, again, don't need until the later game. Treasure map is how you know the deck is jank. In a way, you're not wrong. You're not incorrect. Signs of jank. Treasure map count? Yep. I think I actually trim treasure map in this matchup because it's kind of slow. Gosh, do I trim Thought Erasure? I think I trim Thought Erasure. Rest of this seems fine. I could see there being made an argument for Trophy not being worth bringing in because I don't have a ton of green sources, because green's my big splash. But Trophy's really flexible when we do have mana for it, so I think I want that. It's just like, this is an all Doom Blades on deck matchup. Just want as many things that kill their things as possible. Would an Erasure be better than Freebooter? No, remember, their deck is full of 1/1 flying creatures, so Freebooter's a blocker. So one of the thresholds for keepable in this deck is that the fact that this hand's a little bit land heavy, but the fact that it has all 4 of our colors makes it more keepable. Does Shalai Hexproof help this much in this matchup? It does not. However, Shalai being a 3/4 flyer is very meaningful in this matchup. So the rest of Shalai's text isn't relevant. However, just like being a 3/4 flyer for 4 is like fine. Go ahead and gobble this up here. Look at how beautiful our hand is. This deck's not all foil, but it's pretty close. We're going to go 4, 5, 6 here. Seems quite good for us. I mean, Shalai doesn't really blow out Tricksters so much as it just makes them worse. She does narrow the choice of Trickster, which is probably worth pointing out. Alright, so do I want to jam Lyra or do I want to jam Thief? I'm going to jam Thief, actually. I think they're obligated to counter this, and I want this to resolve less than this. And in fact, I think the way my curve is set up now here, I'm going to do that into Hydroid for 4, because I think this also is something they want to counter. I just like, when you're playing against counter spells, when you have multiple things that are kind of good, you want to sequence them in the order of this thing I want to resolve the least I want to play first. Because the more things they counter, the less likely they are to counter. So now I'm actually going to lead on. So now my line changes a little. I was going to talk about how I want Lyra to resolve more than Seraph, but the fact that I have 2 Seraphs in hand and I'll have 8 mana next turn means I want to play Lyra here on 7, because on 8 I'll be able to double spell. Have we talked about the new Eldritch evolution yet? Briefly. It's like, okay, it's nothing to write home about. Alright, so we're done here. I'm gonna balance out the board here a little bit with Seraph of the Scales. Maybe I should have momented first to try and bait the dive down. It's very possible. I don't think it matters. We're kind of on a build our own adventure book from here. Casual, like 25-point swing. Wombat Combat, thank you for the 2/3 of you. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around here. 45 life, not bad. Like, our deck is also called 4-color sky, so like having a plethora of flying creatures like also pretty good in the mono blue matchup. Now, like, as far as, like, a demon deck goes, there aren't really demon synergy cards to, like, pay you off for playing around that. Look at our mana. Our mana base is truly a work of art. Also, I've been talking about, like, why the mana is functional in this deck. Another thing to consider that makes your mana functional is if you look at this deck list, there are 26 lands in this deck. One of the easiest ways to get more mana sources and play your spells consistently is just play more lands. I think I'm going to lead on Erasure here. Alright, definitely don't want that. Want some lands of our own. I almost played that instinctually, but notably Breeding Pool does not bring this into play on tap, so that would have been bad. Now, if they don't draw a removal spell for this turn, I get to get Shalai down to protect Thief next turn. Oh, is our opponent playing blue-green, or are they an unlucky Sultai player? Unsure. They could be playing like a climb deck. Not 100% sure what's going on over there. At any rate, Tocatli on our guard sounds excellent. I'm going to trade out Kitesail Freebooter because I don't want those to non-bow with each other. Sultai doesn't usually play basic island. That's a good observation. I think I'm just going to do this. I don't think I want Lyra because she just gets shot down by Vivian. I think I'm happy with my spread of other stuff here. Blue-green Theft. Entrancing Melody. Mass Manipulation. That's funny. It's a fun idea. So, I don't think the slight negative interaction with Kitesail Freebooter is worth that. And Pilfering Imp costs mana to activate too, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Costs like 2 or 3 mana. Yeah, it costs 2 to activate. So like it's 1 cheaper, but it's more mana to be disruptive with. And it doesn't leave a body in play, so it doesn't apply pressure. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I'm going to keep this, I guess. So the deck Zach linked is different than our opponent's because our opponent had Wild Growth Walker. I think there's a good chance they're just like playing a climb deck. So, likely missing blue mana, so not surprised to see that hit the bin there. They have a pretty aggressive start here. Seraph for the Scale is going to be useful to help us stem some of the bleeding. You feel like we're just dead. Why is that? If you think we're dead to a start like this, I'm not sure why you would. Like, you could as someone who's like the undisputed king of concessions here, like I really think thinking we're dead at this point's a little bit overkill. Huh. So Branch Walker adds pressure to the board now. However, Biogenic Ooze is scary in the long term. I think I need to take Branch Walker. So I'm taking 11. I'm taking 6 down to 11 next turn. So if I Thought Erasure next turn, I think I want to just bin this and find a removal spell. I could also, like, hope they brick on a land for the turn and, like, don't play Ooze on 5. Yes, like, now they're guaranteed to play Ooze. This is coming into play tapped currently because my only shock land is Hallowed Fountain. So now I, like, have to find a removal spell next turn, right? Wow, they just didn't attack. That's interesting. I wonder if they clicked through it by mistake. You are not good enough. Now I think we're dead. We need more spells than this. It's possible I'm supposed to just, like, take... It's possible I'm supposed to just, like, take the Thought Erasure and take the hit that turn. Corrosion, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I don't think I want Disdainful Stroke. I think I just want my removal spells. With Crushing Canopy, I don't think I want Lyra in my deck. Mespira, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I suppose that is a factor to consider with 4-color decks. And 3-color decks, your shocks enable all your checks. Yep. Yeah, so like, which mix of shocks and checks you choose to play is a big deal, because you want them to balance well, right? Like, you want your checks to be enabled by as many of the shocks you're playing as possible. Durzoblin, thank you for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday and a good Searcher weekend, folks. How lucky are we feeling? The answer is usually pretty lucky, right? I think the answer is pretty lucky. Weary Dude, thanks for cashing in your Prime this way again. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Hands fully foiled, gotta keep... It does hurt a little bit to leave Ugly Thief on top. Alright, don't quench me. I'm gonna start activating the map here. See if they have their Crushing Canopy or not. If they don't have Crushing Canopy, this card runs away with the game very quickly. Yep. This also makes their Explorer creatures worse. You know, I'm actually not gonna scry now, because I could hit like a Frilled Mystic off the top of their deck. Box of Shoes, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. You're Maeve, Yogi Boy. Hello, Houseplant. Hello to you too. Like, and it wasn't just Frilled Mystic off the top of their deck that rewards us for not scrying there, right? Like, we also have good 4-drops. Like, if I draw a Shalai or something like that, I'm happy. They are, in fact, a Hadana's Climb deck, so we were right about that, too. If they attack, I'm not blocking. I'm just going to hit them for 5 on the backswing. I think we're in a position to race at this point. In. Unless we hit another Frilled Mystic, I think I'm supposed to Thought Erasure this turn. This is their Ooze turn. Vivian Reed. Can I race this Biogenic Ooze? I think I can. With the Seraph of the Scales and this Krasis? I think I can. Hey, Cyanide, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's a pretty good one. That is a pretty good one. I just want to draw a removal spell here, right? So now, I think I Jade Light. Although they have Disdainful Stroke in their hand. I think I just want a Seraph. It's appealing to get Seraph down while they don't have Stroke Up. Because they're going to be able to have Stroke Up for a significant portion of this game from here on out. So while I would kind of like to explore into a land drop this turn, I think the efficiency of casting this spell while they don't have Disdainful Stroke Up is ideal here. Sure. The Frilled Mystic is an excellent full art foil. I agree. Looks real good. So this notably gives me 3 extra mana potentially this turn, which is nice. Again, still looking for a removal spell. The Mortify is also a good one. I agree with that. So I'm going to lead on this as a bait for Frilled Mystic. They did not take the bait. Just going to go ahead and pass here, I think. So now, like, my opponent has these counter spells, but I know about these counter spells, so with my instant speed choices here, I can kind of make their mana awkward, which is nice. How do we feel about Krasis as a 4/4 here? I think I just like Krasis as a 4/4. And if they slam down Frilled Mystic, I just, like, trophy this, smack them with my Thief. And if they Disdainful Stroke it, that's, like, also fine for me, because, like, I drew 2. Just, like, getting ahead on cards. Would not be surprised to see Stroke Fire off here. Yeah, like, they're kind of in a position where they just, like, want to be using their mana every turn. And, like, we're kind of putting them in an awkward spot at the moment. You know what the greatest thing about Hydroid Krasis is? The first one draws the second one. Alright, now I just start attacking with these, right? Let's just, like, pressure them on the ground. Because, like, they don't want to lose this because then it unlocks my Thief. And getting the Stroke out of them there is nice because they have enough mana at this point that the Stroke's almost always going to be able to be held up. They are 1 land away from being able to Biogenic Ooze plus Frilled Mystic in the turn. I think I just let this happen. And, like, this unlocks their Frilled Mystic this turn, but, like, I'm getting to hit them with Thief of Sanity, so I'm not really sure that matters. I'm going to attack with everything here. Probably results in these trading, but, like, this is getting bigger every turn, so that seems like a fine trade for me. If they activate Biogenic Ooze at end of turn, I'm going to... Why not Moment before it goes to end phase so you can trade with other Jaded Ranger? Because I didn't want to give them value off this Frilled Mystic, but maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know, it's kind of feeling like we're getting into an all roads lead to Rome type situation here. Like, no matter what we do, we're kind of gonna win. Like, if they activate this at end of turn, I'm just gonna tag it with Assassin's Trophy. And, like, this is one of the reasons why Frilled Mystic's such an awkward card, especially against decks that can see your hand. Because, like, when your opponent knows about it, it's, like, incredibly reasonable to just play around it. Like, we got a couple of things on the board early, and we just, like, made our opponent incredibly mana inefficient on all these turns because they're trying to get value out of this Frilled Mystic. Alright. Use your Frill Mystic. Yeah, MTGA does automatically reveal the one that they know about, or play the one that they know about when you have 2 copies of a card. So you don't have to expend mental energy worrying about things like that. Great. This puts them to 2. I guess I'll take that one. I guess I'll take that one. Moving on up. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody, wherever you're at in the world. Thanks for dropping by here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time here on Twitch. If you're a new viewer just dropping in, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. As always, I'd like to give a shout out to all my wonderful subs. I wouldn't be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so thanks to all of them for keeping me employed here. If you're someone who enjoys standard best of 3 constructed with sideboards, this is definitely the channel for you. We play a ton of different decks here, usually change decks every 60 to 90 minutes to get a lot of variety in what we have going on. I'd also like to plug a couple of my sponsors here really quick. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that close, clean shave using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogelShave. You can save $5 in your brand new shaving starter kit with them. Remember, chat, just because you like playing the degenerate decks doesn't mean you need to look like it. Lucid Sound is the maker of my wonderful headset here. And if you head on over to lucidsound.com using code TEMPO, you can save 20% on your new headset with them, plus get free shipping on your order. Neo provides wonderful candy-flavored protein bars using code Hoagland at bit.ly/HoogelBar. You can save 10% on all of your orders there with them. And of course, I'd like to welcome everyone out there to Hoaglandia. I know there's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff here on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you choosing to spend part of your day here with us. We have a 2-0 start with our 4-color Skies deck, heading on into the next match here. The great and totally expected 4-color Skies. They are low carb. I'm fairly certain keto friendly is one of the things they advertise. Been looking at them for a while. Yeah, I got a box of the Neo bars. Neo bars right here. They are one of the myriad of snacks that I eat throughout the day while I'm here for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. We're still working out those details, Spellweaver. We're still working out those details. This hand is so beautiful. And I think I keep this. We're probably going to die to aggro if we don't draw well. But again, the floor on what's a keepable hand changes in a deck like this. Because this hand has all of our colors, I think makes it a very keepable hand. How many boxes of Neo do you go through the last event state sponsor? Usually they send me 2 more boxes every month or so. Say like a box or 2 a month. They're good stuff. I eat one almost every day. This is probably not good for us. Good chance they have a removal spell. Easiest block in my life. Alright, they didn't have a removal spell last turn, which I think means I just play a Baby Krasis here. I could see there being an argument for playing Treasure Map and getting these going, but I kind of just want to use my mana while it's available. Yeah, I definitely want an upkeep stop here. Thank you, Zach. Looking for a removal spell or a flying creature here. Wow, brutal. Brutal. All right. That's good enough for last turn. It's definitely good enough for this turn. Can we draw some actual spells? Why couldn't we scry the land to the bottom and then draw the Krasis? Why wasn't that a thing we were able to do? And I know I kept a hand that had a lot of lands in it, but good lord. Well, their hand is very good. We do have way more foils than they do. You're not wrong. So I want to scry after the Thief trigger, because I'd much rather try and fix my draw rather than try and fix one of their three draws. I spent like 2 hours reading MTG lore last night after you mentioned Phage the Untouchable in one of your streams. That's great. Joke's on you, opponent. Nice Kitesail Freebooter. Didn't you just see how terrible that card is when I failed to use it successfully against you? I think I have to bottom that and just dig for answers to these things or blockers or whatever. In. All right. We might make it through getting hit by Thief here. May God have mercy on our soul. We've killed 4 of the 5 thieves they've cast this game. Here's open. They ditched a Mortify there, so I assume they found a threat. They find one of our Krasis, that would be bad, because I've already played 2 of those, and I really need to hit a Krasis at some point this game to catch back up. Nope, just one of my thieves. Got it. I do at least get to draw 2 cards next turn. Alright, that's a good one. Oh! Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Now we need to beat their Krasis. Oh no! Oh no! Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known again. Alright, scry me a river, baby. Scry me a river, baby. Let's go. Let's do it, and do it, and do it, and do it again. Alright, I think we're doing it. I'm not by any means an expert, but I think this might qualify as it. 33 cards in our deck, chat. 2 of them are Hydroid Krasis. Let's go. Do. All right, so they've got 4 cards in their hand, but I've got 3 cards on the whoa. Put my treasure back, Magic Arena. Thank you. Get your grubby paws off my treasure. That was not the Hydroid Krasis I wanted for Christmas, chat. Okay, all right, I can work with that one. Okay. All right. Okay. Do I want to play Thief of Sanity? Do I want to play Thief of Sanity? I probably do, right? Nah, I don't think I do. Yeah, I could shock this in and still leave up Death Touch. Do I want to go to 10, though? Yeah, I don't think I want to go to 10. I think I'm just going to pass. Now, this treasure is a card. This treasure is a card. Play Thieves so they can hostage taker it and have 9 of them. Why you have to be so mean, Zach? Why you have to be so mean? Z28, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I suppose so. This is an interesting thing because my opponent is playing Thief in the main. I think that means they're more likely to be playing Thought Erasure, which might be a reason to jam the Thief there. Ads remind me I need to resub. Well, thanks for the 2 months, Z28. And L. Douglitis, thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Do they have the 3rd Find Finality? Okay. The Thought Erasure left a card on top, which is a little scary. Happy to be here during the Thief of Sanity Fest. Well, I think they wanted to take both my angels off the table is what they did. All right, that's a good draw. It's an okay draw. It's like not our best draw, but it's like better than some, right? Can you scroll to see how many lands we have on the bottom? We've bottomed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. All right. Well, here's hoping there's a Krasis of our own coming up here. We might actually run out of win conditions. Like, if they have a removal spell for our Krasis, it's not about to be a good scene. Gobble, gobble. We needed Transient Melody. Well, there's something that we can eventually do with our huge tracts of land. Okay. All right. Okay. We are cooking with gas, chat. Okie dokie. Artichoke. We are currently ahead. However, there's still Krasis left in their deck, right? So, like, it's not... Woo! Doggy! Alright. Alrighty then, chat. So we've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 mana. So I'm going to cast this as a 13-13. No big, no big. Hit me, dealer. That was a heck of a game of Magic. That was fantastic. I like when we have a contender for the deck of the day early on. I like when we get a contender for the deck of the day early on. It makes my life easier. All right, so Freebooter seems kind of mediocre here. Let's cut that one. Disdainful Stroke seems good. Trophy seems fine. Eldest Reborn. I'm actually not sure on this one. This probably isn't good enough here. I don't think Tocatli's good enough. Do I want an extra Moment of Craving on the draw since they're just like mono Thieves of Sanity? I think an extra moment's probably not terrible. I think I'd rather have that than a Negate. How many games are we in on this deck? This is our 3rd or 4th batch. We've been playing for about 45 minutes. Let's give this a go. You made me snot everywhere. I aim to please. You could say, even though we won that game, that Thief of Sanity has lived up to its name. We're working on thin ice here. We're trying to make the best of it, okay, chat? But my sanity has been thieved. Silas Goodbottom with the very generous tier 3 sub. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday and a good start to your weekend. Be sure to submit a deck for the month through the form on my website, or drop me a message in chat here or a DM if there's already a deck in the queue you'd like to bump up. Well, that is quite the hand of Magic the Gathering cards. It's just the fine finality, right? That's the take. Pretty sure it's that one. It's the map. The tokens deck was a little mediocre. Miss on a land. I think we're dead. I have to draw a removal spell next turn, right? So, like, they have Hostage Shaker that I know about, so they're going to Hostage Shaker the Seraph and hit me with the Thief. So, like, if I don't draw a land here, they're going to get to hit me with the Thief again and, like, play my Seraph and, like, all this other bad stuff. But, like, if I hit a removal spell, I get to, like, kill the Hostage Shaker and hold Disdainful Stroke up, so that's really good. And I did board in extra Moments of Craving because I'm very hungry. Bro just milled a bunch of lands off the top of our deck, God bless. Deadzo? Feeling kind of Deadzo. I suppose if they break off from here, maybe we can grind through our own Seraph. If they kill this Seraph and cast the R1 from exile, I'm gonna be done. I guess they can't do that though, right? Because this will leave tokens behind. Oh, sure. Just another Hostage Shaker. No big deal. We did win the last game. We are up 1-0 in this match. Opponent is setting up to beat us with their own deck. That is for certain. So, move on to the next one. Yeah, I don't really have anything that I want to do different. Let's run it. Are they Sultai? Stop hitting yourself. Yeah, they're Sultai, no respect for aggro. They're Sultai hedging the mirror / Esper control at the cost of making all of their aggressive matchups probably close to unwinnable. 9ball, thank you for the 10-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Nah, I don't think sideboard Duress is good enough. I think if I thought sideboard Duress was good enough, I'd leave in Kitesail Freebooter before I brought in Duress. So, while the opponent's deck does have instants and sorceries that are high impact, I do think that their density of spells that Duress can hit is not high enough to be worth bringing it in. I mean, the Explore package is 12 cards, Dallas. It's hard to sideboard 12 cards. I think Tocatli's not quite good enough. Like, it's just like, there's going to be games where they don't draw Hostage Taker. And, like, I get it. We just got double Hostage Taker there, and it feels really bad. But I think I have enough spot removal and, like, Disdainful Strokes to not be worth bringing in Tocatli. I'm doing swell, Stormbreath and Danon. It's Friday. It's the weekend. I think I'm taking the whole weekend off again. There's a Modern Open in Cleveland. And I'm going to watch a little bit of maybe... Modern's kind of meh, so maybe we'll see. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think we even saw Jade Light Ranger that first game, and the first game went really long. So, if my opponent was playing a more traditional Sultai deck with the Explore package, I would definitely bring in Tocatli there. But I think against just Hostage Taker, it's not good enough. Hand's 100% foil. Hand has all of our colors. Hand has turn to Thought Erasure. Not a whole lot more you can ask for. Again, you don't tend to make your hands better by mulliganing against the opposing decks full of discard spells. The Kitesail Freebooter they played last game was my Kitesail Freebooter Vixed. Well, subscribers should never see ads even when they get run manually, but I've not been manually running ads. We did it Tuesday, the numbers were kind of mediocre, and it's just annoying. I'd much rather just, like, do my own integrated self-shills, right, with, like, my little scrolling banner there. Still waiting to work out what that means from Tempo Storm. Waiting to hear back from them. I like how you see yellow in the name. Everybody's like, is it Yellow Hat? I don't think Deceif's username is even Yellow Hat. It's like Bob the Dog, right? Or something like that. Or maybe he changed it for Moto. I know on Moto his username is like Bob the Dog. My opponent must have had something come up here. Because like they used almost the full 2 minutes during sideboarding. I wonder if they had to step away from their computer. The first game was incredibly long. So maybe they were hopping on for one match and they didn't have enough time to finish. Yeah, I appreciate the people who are here that aren't subbed, and I know they can't chat because it cuts down on clutter, and I feel a little bit bad about that, so I don't really want to bombard them with ads too. It doesn't seem ideal. So, I'm not going to occasionally do non-sub only chat. So I haven't been managing my own Twitter for the last month or so. And the chat's been sub only for the last month or so. And my stream scaled up gradually to the point as more people and more numbers came in that I genuinely didn't realize how unhappy dealing and muting and banning random people spewing vitriol and nonsense at me on the internet was having an impact on me as a person. And just like not dealing with that for the last month, I've been just so much happier that no, I don't think I'm ever gonna. I definitely think I stand to make more money not doing that, but it's like at a certain point it's like it's money versus being happy, and I'd just rather be happier. It was one of those things where it's just like, well, this is what we've always done, and I had like convinced myself that I was used to it and it didn't bother me. And the reality of the situation is that like I don't think humans get used to like having people be hateful towards them constantly or in their general area of life, you know, 10, 20 hours a day and however many hours are in a day. And like, just like, yeah, taking a step back is good. Absorb me, baby. Trigger. That's a lot of sweepers. All right, so I think I actually want to take the Cry of the Canarium here because I'd much rather they spend the Kaya's Wrath now than the Cry. Because the Kaya's Wrath's the better card, so I'd like to force them to play that one ideally. Mashi Sauce, thanks for the 3rd of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I agree, Reddy. The internet has created a culture in which a lot of behavior that we've otherwise kind of stamped out as a society, that like people think this type of doing these types of things to other humans is unacceptable, that like the anonymity of being on the internet gives people empowerment to like do these things that they'd otherwise have never do in person because they're indecent. Throw that one in the queue. Will do, Talran. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate the very generous tier 3 sub. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, there's no consequence. Someone put it in a way that really made sense to me. You know, like, say, even 20, 25 years ago, if 50 people in a day told you that you were worthless and, like, were terrible at what you did and would never amount to anything, that was basically everyone you knew. But, like, as someone creating something on the internet, having 50 people tell you suck and having like, you know, hundreds or even thousands of people upvote and like those comments was just like a Tuesday sometimes. And it's just like the way we're wired as people to be able to like endure that really isn't. It's like, why would I want to willingly experience this? I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to be doing here. So, like, if I play the Hydroid Krasis, it might get the Kaya's Wrath out of them. And, like, I kind of want to hit my land drop here. I think I want to hit my land drop here. So I'm going to play this for X's 4, draw 2. Yeah, definitely, Fleb. And they might also just absorb that. Here's to mental health. Thanks for the support, Mars. You're one of the many who's been absurd to me here. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me around. Mega Vega, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Friday. So this setup's pretty good for them here now, right? Because now they're going to be able to Kaya's Wrath plus hold up Absorb still. It's like, now what exactly do I want to do? I definitely feel like we're behind. The Search for Azcanta's flipping soon here. I think I just want to play this out for 6. and like gas up, and then maybe I can play through whatever else they have going on. If I hit like a Thought Erasure or a Thought Erasure or Kitesail Freebooter, like next turn to like go discard spell into threat would be ideal. Oh, these are one turn too late. That's so unfortunate. I would really love for them to get greedy and not flip this so I can mortify it out of existence. If they get greedy and don't flip this, we might be able to win this game still, but if they flip that over, it's probably just done. Yeah, that's smart on their part. Yeah, we're done here. With all these Mortifies in our hand, they're just dead draws at this point, because the Azcant is already over. The Holy Helix Fossil, thank you for the 20 months. That's a while. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. I have one trophy in the main board, but it's pretty unlikely to sit there and wait on it, I think. Shalai is not fantastic here. I think I'm going to trim 2 Mortifies. Like, some Mortify is fine, because, like, it kills Azcanta. It, like, kills Thief if they bring that in. It kills Hostage Taker. No, thanks for jumping through the hoops, Mega. I appreciate it. I think this is how I want to board. Thanks for all the good content. I enjoy the sub-only chat. Keeps things positive and respectful. Thanks for the 3 months, Tim. And I appreciate the feedback, too. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend. Alright, let's do it. I don't have any more cast downs or Moment of Cravings in our deck. Minimal number. Yeah, this is fine, right? I have all my colors. I've got 5 foil cards. So, note on the mana sequencing here, I don't have a shock that puts this into play untapped currently. So I want to lead on this on 1, and then I can shock this in on 2, and these will be untapped on 3 and 4. So I want to make sure I lead on this here. To sub on mobile, there's an upcharge to do it directly in the app, because the App Store has to get a cut if you put money through the app, but you can log into Twitch on your mobile browser. That's requesting desktop mode, which is nice. How many cards in this deck are not foil? I think everything that can be foil is foil, Dude Light, and that's a lot of them. Astro Rugger, thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think I'm going to take the cast down here because it keeps my Kitesail on board. Definitely going to be digging aggressively for an answer to this Teferi. Oh, I guess Eldest Reborn kind of answers the Teferi, huh? Wouldn't mind hitting a Thought Erasure, but this does in a way answer it. Yeah, this deck is basically just like a collection of all the good cards from a bunch of different colors. It's like, what are all the good non-red cards in the format that like don't have double colors in there and their casting cost? Seraph. I think I'm in for that. Huh. So, interesting sequencing question here. If they drew an absorb, do I want to let them absorb the Seraph? I think I'm actually going to play Watery Grave tapped here. So I would much rather play Seraph when they have 4 mana up, because then that forces them to... I might want to put a couple of Teferis in here, honestly. That might be a card worth playing. It might be that these Kitesail Freebooters are some nonsense. So by waiting a turn on the Seraph, I'm a little bit mana inefficient, but now I get to flip my treasure map sooner, which is nice. Get some good scries out of the way. Do not need more lands. And now I have threats to pressure Teferi plus an Eldest Reborn to follow it up. And I have a lot of cards as well, which is decent. Duress, yep. Yeah, that's probably true, dude. Light. Like we're playing a blue-white deck, and if you're anything other than aggressive, you should probably have some Teferis. It's probably not an unreasonable sentiment. The mana base is pretty consistent, and it's consistent not only because we don't have any double costs, but we also aren't really playing green spells except for more expensive cards like Hydroid Krasis. It is kind of unfortunate. We also, like, I'm going to say this as we're flooding here a little bit. This deck also has kind of a high land count in it. Like, our deck plays 26 lands, which helps you hit your colors consistently. Oh, Mortify. We have 2 Mortifies and 2 trophies in our deck right now, so of course we have both Mortifies in our hand. Yikes. I think this one's probably slipped away. If we draw Krasis this turn, we can maybe claw back in. Teferi's gonna be a tough nut to crack. Is this the first match we've lost with this deck today? I think it is. Our cumulative variance catching up with us here. You might take one more draw step. Let's see if this map resolves. Because, like, one more... Well, not one more draw step, but, like, one more turn cycle. Because, like, if this resolves, I get a couple of scries. And then I get a couple of draws next turn with my other treasure map, so... Get a few looks at, like, finding things. I've only had Teferi for a small window, so, like, maybe they don't have a Negate yet or an Absorb. And, like, if they do, I get 2 hits, so maybe I find, like, Trophy plus a counterspell of my own. Or, like, Trophy plus a discard spell. Yep.
We need to move quickly.
We need to move quickly. Yeah, it's Esper Splash Green, and even our white's kind of a smaller splash in the deck. Like, we have Mortify and Seraph at 3/4. Well, that's incredibly rude. They know about this Mortify here. So, notably, if you kill the hostage taker in response to it trying to take a hostage, the hostage never gets taken. That being said, I'm going to let this happen and just get my scry in here, I think. And then during my upkeep, I can mortify this hostage taker again and get my treasure map back. Well, that just resolved. So I get, what, 3 looks at a trophy here now? I think it just has to be trophy. I think a new Gideon. Seems sweet. Take one more cycle. I'm waiting on this Duress here. And the reason why I'm waiting on this Duress is I get 2 shots to find an Assassin's Trophy this next turn, and my opponent's going to take 2 draws between now and then. So should my opponent draw a counterspell in either their draw step or their Teferi draw, I want to be able to take that counterspell with my Duress next turn before I cast the Assassin's Trophy I'm trying to draw. So because this card is so mana efficient, I want to wait to play it just before I need it to resolve. And, like, they're up on cards here. But again, if I can just get this Teferi off the table, my treasure map is going to allow me to gas back up here. All right, yeah, that's a keep. We might slog through. This deck generates some sweet games of Magic. Like, a lot of good decision points. Absorb me. Oh, sure. So they're just going to kill both my things. That's fine. I want the cards. This game is not currently about the things that are in play. Or my things that are in play, I guess I should say. This game is currently about who can get and keep a source of card advantage flowing. Currently, my opponent is winning that because their Teferi is endless card advantage. Wow, I like that play from the opponent. That's really heads up. Woof. The map was going to flip next turn. I didn't even think about that. I like that line a lot from them. Don't play a threat. Don't play a threat. Thank you. I appreciate you. I think I want to draw that next turn. I've only played one Krasis this game, right? I have infinite lands, so like... Again, I waited on this because they're going to draw 2 cards here, so I want to get through a counterspell. It's even possible I should have waited on the Thought Erasure last turn, but I kind of wanted the Surveil from it.
Let's skip to the good part.
So Krasis is our best hit. Trophy's an okay secondary. We're hoping to dodge Hostage Taker. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so I'm gonna play this for 8. Oh, I should have left a black source up there. Wow, super punished because I could have trophied. I should have manually tapped and left a black source up there. I knew it. I was thinking about Duress, but drawing the trophy like now they could hit a discard spell and like take my trophy away from me, which is one of the cards I've been trying to draw. So like the fact that I've mistapped here could lose me the game. They definitely have Thought Erasures and Duresses in their deck.
We need to move quickly.
Don't blame the auto tapper for your mistakes or my mistakes. The auto tapper just does as it's told. Deal. Personal accountability is important. The auto tapper is a tool. I am the person controlling the tool. They've cast 2 absorbs. I would agree the auto tapper is a tool. I wonder how you intend to mean that. So I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this could draw me 6. I can play this and I can leave up green, black, black. So that way I can draw Duress and Duress before I trophy here. Which I think is what I want to do. So this is X is 8. They could have Negate here. I think I'm just supposed to go for the trophy. Because, like, they have so many... I think they have more discard spells than... I think they have more discard spells than counter spells left in their deck at this point. I want to let them resolve the Scry first here, because this way if they go get a land, they have to shuffle the card they just topped. So we're hoping to dodge Negate here. You could also argue I should play my discard spell first, because if they just, like, have another Teferi here, this is less good. Is this a blank? Yep, they kept Search for Escans on top of their deck. Alright, all in. They have infinite looks here. They get a Scry, they get an Azcanta, they get an Azcanta activation. I erasured before I kite-sailed because taking a card with Kitesail is not optional, and if they have a spell in their hand, I'd rather Thought Erasure it than Kitesail it because they can get it back from Kitesail. This is my third Krasis. Alright, 4 more bricks. Four more bricks, please. I think we're incredibly unlikely to win from here. Alright, what's this one? It's the mystery card that gets me every time, chat. It's always the mystery card. Always the mystery card. Okey doke. So, opponent just gets to see a casual 1, 2, 6 cards next turn. No big deal. No big deal. We got this. We're gonna find our 4th Hydroid Krasis, and it's gonna drag us kicking and screaming across the finish line. One Krasis. There's 4 non-Krasis in the bottom of our deck. So there's 1 Krasis and 20 cards at the moment. This attack signifies they could have Cry of the Canarium, so I'm not going to block. Because I don't want to lose this to Cry and not get my tokens. They have 24 cards. I also have 24 cards. I don't think that's good enough. I'm pretty sure it's Hydroid Krasis or bust. Alright, I'm gonna attack for 2. Alright. You know, kicking and screaming, chat. Kicking and screaming. Alright, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. X is 12. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right. Well, shoot. Yikes! Yikes! Joke's on you, opponent. My hand's not very good. I wonder if this deck wants some Find Finality in the sideboard to give us more threat density in a matchup like this. Where's Ner'zhul, right? Bye, friends. I would like the record to reflect that we tried. I should like the record to reflect that we tried. An effort was made. There was an attempt. I assume this is a blank. Yep. All right, that one's staying right there. He wasn't good enough last turn, but he's the best we got now. Yeah, we get the moral victory here. We get to trophy the search for Azcanta. And maybe I'm supposed to wait on the erasure. The erasure before. Yeah, that's probably true. I'm probably supposed to erasure first. And then I would have drawn the thief, right? Which would be real good. Alright, now we trophy in response to this. Could you imagine trying to click this card on mobile? Bright Star, thank you for the 12 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yep. Yeah. There's also a chance I should have waited to Thought Erasure till after they activated their Azcanta. Okay. All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Discard spell. Discard spell. Discard spell. Woo, buddy. Alrighty. Woo. Woo. All right. All right. Rude. Rude. Are there discard spells left in my deck? I have 10 total. I'm through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's one Kitesail Freebooter left in my deck, and it's not coming for a long time. All right. Thief of Sanity, I choose you. Thief of Sanity, I choose. And it's worth noting here that if I would have waited to time my Thought Erasure better, if I hadn't played Thought Erasure out when they only had one card left that was likely a blank, I would have been able to erasure this Absorb, and then I'd have Thief getting down here, and I'd still have a Negate in my hand. So there's a very good chance that if this Thief dies, I could have kept it alive. Dude Light with the big 5-0 tip, I appreciate that. I will not be able to watch the rest of the day due to the work. Here's the money needed to make sure all the decks we play for the rest of the day are properly foiled. Will do. Thanks for the support. Holy crap, that just hit them. I genuinely am not prepared to possibly win this game. I don't understand what is happening.
Keep up the pace.
I'm not playing another one out because I don't want to have them both die to a sweeper. 10 cards in our deck, 13 cards in theirs. 11 cards in theirs. Yep. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. Oh, yeah. There's no way Game 3 isn't a huge disappointment at this point. 0% chance Game 3 isn't a huge disappointment.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. Oh, gosh. Oh, was I supposed to tuck this in? I was supposed to tuck this in, wasn't I? Yeah, I messed up. I was supposed to tuck that in. If I was slightly smarter, I could figure out what these last two cards are, but alas. Yeah, that's another question too, like, right? Like, do they have another sweeper here? Do they have a way to kill this? Yeah, get out of here. We might deck, if this thief hits them again, they're definitely decking. I'm pretty confident in saying that it's going to be impossible for the last two decks to unseat this as the deck of the day. This and the game we played against Sultai were just quite absurd. Just the infinite slog. Opponent just like going through trying to figure out like what are, you know, they probably know all the cards in their deck at this point too, right? Because they were bottoming stuff from Azcanta earlier. So I bet they know the full contents of their deck at the moment. Whew! That's a cleansing Nova for when Kaya's Wrath is not enough. Okay. Okay, yep.
Let's skip to the good part.
All right, so I'm not activating Tef again unless they draw an extra card because currently they're decking first. Currently they're decking first. I think they might have another Teferi in there. Holy cow. Holy. All right, well, huh. That was, huh, you know. Cheddar Codes, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, I think I'm going to do something that people don't do enough of the time, in my opinion. I think I'm going to cut a land. I'm prepared to, like, stumble and die in punishment of this, but I think I want to cut a land for a threat. Corn Chips, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. For keeping me around. Like, I think most of the games we play are going to go long, and I just want more spells. I think I'm going to bring in the extra Mortify. Keeping Azcanta off the table is pretty important. Anticlimactic ending. We're on the draw too, so like cutting a land tends to be less punishing when you're on the draw because you get more chances to like hit your land drops because you see more cards. Oh no! Oh no! If one of these Mortifies was an isolated chapel, this hand is perfect! Oh no! We've played ourselves, chat. We've played ourselves. To be fair, we had 2 Mortifies in our deck anyways, so there is like this teensy tiny chance that one of those Mortifies, those could have been the 2 Mortifies we already had. There is a non-zero chance that we were mulliganing that hand regardless. Is this the part where they play Thief of Sanity on 2 and then we concede? Or on 3? It's feeling like the hand where they play Thief of Sanity and we die. Whew! Alright, dodge that one. Getting the ugly corner stroke. This is not happening for a little bit. We're just gonna sit here and hit our land drops for the time being, I think. That last game really impressed me. I am ready to buckle in and go the distance. You know what was funny? I put this deck into the queue today because it was a deck I was considering playing for the tournament that's happening on Thursday that a couple of streamers are playing in. And I actually don't think I'm gonna play it, even though we've been winning a bunch, because it's gonna be timed rounds, and I really don't want to draw a bunch. It does not have a full art, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a hand. That's a handful of magic cards right there. That is. Alright, well, there's a meat grinder on the other side of the board, Thief, so I think we're gonna pump the brakes here for a minute. I am not gonna chip you into the meat grinder. Calm down. Calm down. And again, I'm holding on to this Duress until such a time where I draw something that I want to resolve, because I want to give my opponent the most possible chances to draw counter spells. And for now, we're just playing land go, which means at some point I'm going to draw a Krasis and get ahead, right? Like I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay out of my hand. I think I have to wait a turn, right? I think I have to wait a turn. The problem is, like, waiting while they have the search for Azcanta going. Now we're behind, right? Like, they have the Azcanta going, so, like, the waiting game favors them because they have this card advantage as we go along. Oh, they drew another sweeper. Man, that's brutal. They already have 6 cards in the bin. The problem is, like, so the problem with being aggressive here like I was is that they're going to get to flip the Azcanta now, which sucks. So, like, the reason why I played the Duress there, even though it lets them flip the Azcanta, is because if they didn't find another removal spell, I would have been able to force this Thief through, which would have been ideal. Now I think we're at a point where I just go jam, and then I wait and, like, draw a Krasis next turn, hopefully. I don't know. I guess this is bad. Maybe I should have taken a sweeper if this was my plan. Because, like, now they get to play a sweeper. I Disdainful Stroke. They... Alright, we're done. Remember when we said the third game was going to be anticlimactic? Sad days. Sad days. Sometimes... I'm glad that cutting a land seemed to have been a good call that game. Like, who knows with, like, the first hand, like, maybe the first hand is, like, okay, but honestly, even with discard spell, Thief, like, their hand was such a meat grinder that, like, I don't think we would have even plowed through there. If you're looking for a kind of sweet deck that plays a lot of colors and plays, like, all the good cards in Standard, I think this one's a lot of fun. One thing I might consider doing that I'm not 100% on is I'm unsure if these Kitesail Freebooters are worth their slots. It might be worth taking the deck and pulling up a little bit more since we're such a land-heavy deck to begin with. So, like, cut the Kitesail Freebooters and like play a few copies of Teferi to generate card advantage with here. And then like maybe another Assassin's Trophy or something like that for a flexible answer in the main deck, or like a 4th treasure map. Is the white needed? I think so. Mortify is really, really good. I like this card a lot. Seraph for the skills is also an incredibly grindy threat that's good, so. What cards for the new set would you want in this deck? It's really a waste of time and energy to think about how you want to edit the decks now while we're this early in the spoiler season. All it takes is 1 or 2 key cards to be spoiled to make all your work and preparation. Like, imagine they spoil another Seraph or another Hydroid Krasis. Now, all of a sudden, everything you know gets thrown out the window and you've wasted energy because you spent time working on something without having all the pieces that you needed to know. So my advice for people wanting to build decks with the new cards, I know they're super exciting, but I would really caution anybody against like spending time and energy building specific decks now before we have a more complete spoiler. Do we play against mono, red, or white weenie? Seems softer than those sweepers. So okay, so just to talk about what this deck is doing for a second in those matchups. If the last time we played this deck, we actually beat mono red very handily most of the times we've played it. So we have 4 Moments of Craving. We have Hydroid Krasis to gain us lots of life. We have Mortify to deal with their experimental frenzy draws. We have Shalai and Seraph as efficient blockers that also, like, don't eat the removal spell as well. So I think, plus Tocatli Honor Guard out of the sideboard is like a blocker and a way to shut down Chain Whirler and Vanisho. So I think this deck has a lot of good tools for beating up the white aggro decks. I think you're probably right, so the red aggro decks. I think you're probably right that we're likely a bit of a dog against white aggro, but basically everything that can't race white aggro that doesn't have sweepers is bad against them. But having one kind of bad matchup is fine, right? Like, you're not gonna be good against everything. If you are, you've broken the format. Yeah, there's a 14 card sideboard because we're done playing this deck and I was talking about possible changes. So we're done playing this deck for today. We played it for almost over an hour and a half.